All right. I know it looked cool before, but now it looks even more awesomer with the new patina hood and the new patina fender. So, you see it's a little bit lighter color in here, but that's just because it needs to be polished. This actually was that same light color blue, but then, I just ran a polisher across it and you can see that it'll match. I just need to wash it and polish it, and then we can clear coat it, and this thing's gonna look freaking awesome. There's the new door. Problem with the new door is this turquoise car had white interior. So my car is saddle interior, so it needs to be T3. So if you look on the inside of here, the other door, see how it's T3 at the bottom? Same with the dash is T3. So, yep, got this sanded down, and it's too cold and windy to do anything today. So I'm just gonna take this to the shop, throw it in the paint booth, and spray it up. Plus, I got a bunch of other stuff I can catch up on. Mike's GTX. I got a bunch of stuff I need to epoxy on that, and then this car here I need to epoxy. I had the door I was gonna put on here. It's just in bare metal, so I need to epoxy that. And there's a lot more crap I need to epoxy, but it's just too cold and windy to do it outside. So just take it to the shop, do it there. But yeah, I stripped this door last night. I'm just gonna use the vent window frame out of the original door because it still has the glass in it. The vent window frame that was attached to this door had a broken vent glass that was right there. And I stripped it, put everything in the 5-gallon bucket of evaporust because that'll make a rusty piece look brand freaking new. So it's soaking in that. And then right now what I am going to do is I want to put the steering column back in. So got a new gasket. I'm gonna glue that to the base plate, and then go ahead and stab this sucker in. So I can put all the brackets and hook up the wiring harness, and I'm gonna go ahead and dynamat it because I don't know if I'm probably not gonna do the same style of I'm just gonna dynamite it. Probably not gonna do the same style of subframe connector I did on the other car. I'm almost thinking I'll just use some 2x2. That way, what I'll do is I'll actually notch this whole section of the torsion support out, and then continue the 2x2 up to the front frame rail. So the rear frame rail and front frame rail will be completely tied together, including notched in the torsion support, which is going to be ultimately stronger. So yeah, I'm just going to use some 2x2 and do it that way. Because the other way, like on the other car, it only goes up to here. It doesn't actually it doesn't continue to the frame rail. So right here, this could be a weak point. 2x2. Not only that, 2x2 is gonna cost you like 30 bucks and way faster to install. Yep, so that's what's going on today. I'm gonna go ahead and get that steering column stabbed in there. All right, rusty looking bolt, neat wire wheel. Wait, let me spin it for you, get the show. And we're just gonna go ahead and smear these suckers with a little anti-snot, anti-seize. Makes the bolts go in and out easier if you ever have to do it again. Boom, done. Spray a little bit of glue on my gasket. That way it'll stick to the base plate. Alright, time to go and stab her in now. If you loosen the base plate, you can slide it to where it'll hide the shifter arm. That way it'll go in easier. Got bolts. Try to put this sucker in here now. Go like that. Alright, get that last bolt on top right there. Alright. Now I can dangle. So I can go in under the hood and get the steering coupler hooked up. Alright. There's a notch on the coupler that lets you know where that groove is at, or the key. Here we go. Notch that, line that notch up to that groove, and boom, slides right on. Well, maybe not slides right on, but it did about halfway. I can knock the rest of it in with a rubber mallet. Can't really get a swing on it. Alright, there you go. Time to go back inside. Alright, back inside, get it to go on. Just with that quick little shove, it went on the rest of the splines. Make sure all my wires are over it, under it. Alright. Now I got this guy. We got 1, 2, 3. Where's my fourth bolt? See, and you got your ground wire. You're supposed to hook up the steering column as well. Let me see. I must have dropped the bolt. Alright. I got it. Alright. I'm going to hook this guy up. Now I'm leaving those base plate bolts loose until this is all good. Yep. Let me go ahead and put the pin, or get these started. Alright, where's my ground wire? There it is. You can see where the ground wire was on the steering column. So I'll go ahead and just hook that guy back up on there. So that one went there. Pull it out a little bit. Alright, now I got my this is what holds that coupler from the steering column to the dash frame. See, the back one's just a long freaking bolt. Get that guy started. Alright, go use this one for the ground washer. Alright, and then this last one. Sweet. Kind of line that up where it all used to fit. Right on. Now, you tighten the stuff up. Well, actually, you know what? Let me tighten the coupler first so I can center the steering column, because you can rotate it slightly. So now you gotta tighten it all the way up so I know where it's gonna sit. So it needs to be rotated a little bit. Yeah, let me go get a wrench for that now. Alright, let me loosen the adapter bolts so I can rotate the steering column a little bit. It needs to. If it's as straight as this one, actually that's pretty good right there. Tighten those. Last one. Okay. Alright. Tighten that last bolt in the back for the coupler. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. I'm actually going to take this car over to the shop so I can paint the trunk, because I need to paint the trunk before I put the package tray and the back seat and assemble all the trunk, so that's kind of holding me up. So that's why I want to get the steering column back in it so I can drive it, or it's not drive it, I wish I could, but no, so I can no, so I can get this car over to the shop and paint it. It's not my shop, it's my buddy's shop that we help each other out. I do things for him and he lets me use his shop when I need it. Alright, so now make sure a coupler's still hooked up. Base plate. You guys can fast forward through all this boring crap. I can't. I gotta actually do it. Oh man, I should have looped my freaking speaker wires over the steering column. Oh well, now I just have to snake them over. See, I'm not even gonna bother putting, there's a pin that holds the steering coupler to the steering box on the output shaft for the steering box, but I'm not even gonna bother putting that in because I gotta take it all, I gotta drop the K-frame and this front suspension and everything to get it out, because I'm gonna drop the motor out of this, all the suspension and everything, so I can pressure wash the motor, put new front and rear seals in it, because it ain't leaking right now, but who's to say it won't like a mile down the road. Alright. Boom. Now I can hook the shift linkage back up. Or I might as well not. Yeah, might as well just leave it loose. Look at my shiny new red needle in there. Ooh, it's so pretty. Alright, so that's that. Ah, doesn't that just look awesome with a wood grain wheel on there? Just the little details make the car look so much better. Yep, so actually I've done a couple upgrades to the dash on this car. For one, obviously I added a wood grain wheel. Two, this is a new style tack. This isn't an original tack, so it's more accurate, and it has an electric clock in it instead of the old spring wound clock. Then with the lights, that light switch does not actually function the headlights. That actually functions a relay, which then the relay activates the headlights. The reason for that is it takes all the amperage load out of the switch. So instead of running 20 amps through the switch, which burns out contacts and wears the switches out, this thing has like maybe a tenth of an amp flowing through it just to run a relay. So that'll make the headlight switch last a lot longer. That is not an amp meter gauge. That is actually an autometer gauge that I took the guts out of the autometer gauge, took the face off of an original amp meter gauge. I modified the face to where it'll screw to the autometer gauge, and then I took the needle off of the original gauge and glued that needle over the original needle on the autometer. So this is actually a functioning voltmeter gauge. I just left it looking stock like an amp meter gauge. So I refaced it, restickered it, all that. So that's actually an autometer voltmeter gauge. As you can see, it's if it was an amp meter gauge, it'd be sitting at 0. Since it's a voltmeter gauge, it basically 0 volts is over here. And then if I turn the key on, it goes to 12 volts, which is just slightly below the 0. 13.5, 14 volts is right in that 0 window. So that's actually where it's supposed to be. Yep. So that's actually a good upgrade, because a couple of cars have burnt to the ground because of amp meters. Also, if the amp meter fails on your factory car, the car shuts off, because all the voltage that runs your car runs through that gauge. Now all it does is just see voltage. And I have a guy making me stickers right now, so that will actually function like a voltmeter. It's being re-stickered as a voltmeter, so 0 through 16 volts. I didn't get the stickers yet, and I didn't want to wait, so I just went ahead and threw the amp meter sticker over it. And the badass radio. With the cover on it, it's a full LCD face screen, and when you turn the key on, the background or the wallpaper, just like a computer, is an image of the stock radio. So when the car's on, radio's on, it looks like a stock radio right there. And actually, we open the glove box while I'm at a car show, if I want to leave the radio on so it looks like a stock radio, I have this little switch here that will turn the radio on without the key on. That way, if I'm just like I said, just at a car show and I want people to stick their head through the window, they'll see an image of a stock radio instead of seeing an aftermarket deck. My stickers haven't showed up yet for this. I'm going to re-sticker these, that way they look new again. And yeah, it looks way more better than it did. Yep, got everything's painted, headliners in. Well, I can put my rearview mirror in right now, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. So, getting on it.